I mean, you know, you're real involved with your church, and there's always tech issues.
There is.
Well, the source could be miles and miles away.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it could be. There's just, so no panics. Bob, you ready?
Ready.
Anytime.
Lee, number one, look at me. Number two, don't look at them. Number three, when I ask you a question, please try to integrate the question into your answer, because my questions will not be on the video. So it'll be a cold start. So
Okay.
preface it with, grab some of the context out of the question.
I'll
and
try.
Answer it, all right? I know
I'll
you
try.
can. And don't refer to me. I mean, I know we've known each other a long time. Don't reference me or my club or
Okay.
anything that we did together.
I'll try.
Yeah, let's not do that. So, Lee, I know you've been involved with Rotary a long time in many, many ways. Can you tell me what club you're in, when you joined Rotary, and some of the things that you did so far in your Rotary career?
Well, I'm Lee Dixon, Rotary Club, Morehead City Noon, more famously known as the home club of John T. Capps. So, I've been in Rotary since about 1995. Kind of joined on a different measure than most people did. I joined through the Group Study Exchange Program when they sent me to Japan as a young man back in 1995, and it turned out to be a life-altering experience for me. So when I got back, I joined the club for the Morehead City Noon Club, which was, again, because of John. John was the GSE chairman and a big personality, and encouraged me to continue on with Rotary, and it has been a truly blessing in my life. I, of course, have done all the things in Rotary that you can almost do. Club president back in probably 2003 or so, when Jonathan Maggiaggi was president with the Lend a Hand theme. And then eventually on up in 2008 became district governor when Rotary Club, Rotary International president was D.K. Lee. It was an outstanding time. The theme that year was Make Dreams Real, which is absolutely perfect for my lifestyle and my career, and the way I think about things is making dreams real. So it's been a real exciting time for me.
Excellent. That is, I know the GSE experience was pivotal for you. Can you just briefly go over your GSE experience, what GSE is, and where you went and what you did there?
My GSE experience started when I was a lot younger. GSE is Group Study Exchange program, and it's basically where we send a team to Japan and Japan sends a team to us. And it's basically set up to study your like profession in another country, staying in the home environment. You're staying with host families, living the true Japanese lifestyle that they live each and every day. If the kid went to Little League practice, you went to Little League practice with them, but during the day you would follow around someone with your like professions. It was, of course, it was a big travel experience for me. I'd never really been many places at that point in my life, and Japan was a long way away. Their culture is 180 degrees different than the United States. And I was just a kind of a backroom kind of guy. I was just kind of just okay with being, you know, just out of the limelight. Just let me do my job and I'll go home. And I really wasn't looking for outside activities or anything such as that. I'll do my job, I'll go home, come back the next day and start all over again. But the Group Study Exchange program kind of just opened up the whole world to me. And again, I've got to praise John Capps for giving me that opportunity and seeing something in me I did not see myself. And came back, you know, totally enthused about Rotary, but I was more confident in myself. So I started to, you know, look for things that I could do. So obviously I joined Rotary, and it opened many more doors for me. Started looking at more than just being just an employee in my business. So I worked my way up fairly quickly after that. I mean, very quickly into a more of a leadership role. Eventually, a partnership in that firm, and I'm an architect by profession, and then eventually into sole ownership of that business. Never would have done any of that if it hadn't been for the Group Study Exchange program. Even after several years of this, and me being, then they asked me to be Group Study Exchange chair for many, many years, which I did with pleasure, because it was just so much fun to bring teams in and out all during the year and just host families in my home and help people other get situated. And about probably 10 years after I went on the first trip, the governor at the time asked me if I wanted to go back as a Group Study Exchange team leader and bring a team back to Japan. And I was excited again. So I'm a double dipper in that program. Not only as a team member, I went as a team leader several years later. And I tell so many people, and I've made numerous speeches and programs, all over Eastern North Carolina and actually the world, about my experience with this Group Study Exchange, how it was truly a life-altering experience for me, and the confidence that it builds in people was such an outstanding program. Rotary is they still do this program, but not as big as they used to do. And I wish we could bring it back with enthusiasm like we used to do. It still can be done, but it's under different parameters, and it's a little not as big a program as it used to be. But it's an outstanding program for young professionals to grow their profession and grow their confidence in themselves.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm just going to halt for a minute. Okay. They adjust. I know you mentioned John T. Capps, and of course he's legendary, and he had his rabid followers, of which you are one, and we certainly don't, in the 100-year focus of Rotary, he was very big in the more recent years. Just give me a little short of who John T. Capps was, what he meant to Rotary here and around the world.
John T. Capps, I always called him my bald-headed brother from another mother. We were very close, especially after my Group Study Exchange experience, where he kind of pulled me into that because he saw that shy guy, but he saw something else that I did not see myself. But John had that ability to do that with just about anyone. He always gravitated to the person in the room that was kind of by themselves, and he lifted other people up. That was his biggest skill. In Rotary, John was larger than life. He was almost, if you see him, he's almost a cartoon character himself. You could not miss him in a room. He stood out. I mean, he was walking, talking showman all the time. And John did everything in his life with energy, excitement, and enthusiasm. And that's what John is known for, is the enthusiasm that he portrays and brings and puts it in other people. He has traveled millions of miles for Rotary and spoke in many different countries. Probably at the time, he was probably the most well-known Rotarian in the world. By traveling so much and doing so much for Rotary, I miss him every day.
Thank you. Certainly you were a prime person to express that, because I've heard that love in your voice, and I've heard your stories before. So thank you for sharing that about John T. Going back, Rotary's been here since 1925. Have you heard any of the stories of the past of Rotary members who are Rotary members who were part of that early group who were legends in their day and time for local Rotary? Do you have any of those stories?
Rotary has been big in this county for, almost 100 years now, and had played a big part in a lot of the things that are in our area that most people would never ever consider. Like Rotary was a big part of the state port being here, and we're given a lot of credit for making that happen here in Morehead City in eastern North Carolina. And Rotary really is an unofficial chamber of commerce for all our area. We're all about business and occupations and vocations. And going back to John Capps was a one-man walking chamber of commerce. And we always try to help each other, business to business networking, and he was fantastic at that.
All right, thank you. Of all the experiences, obviously GSE stands out, obviously John T. stands out. If you were going to present one thing to this audience, to a child who listens to this in years to come, a teenager, a young mother, a hard-charging professional, what one thing do you want to leave with this audience for the 100 years of Rotary that's been here in Carteret County and the 100 years that we're going to build?
It's very hard for me to put my finger on one thing that Rotary means for Carteret County and Morehead City and eastern North Carolina and the world. Everybody has their own Rotary stories, and obviously I have mine with the Group Study Exchange and being district governor and being a close friend with John Capps. But if I boiled it down, Rotary is all about people. And it's about people helping other people. Sometimes those people are right here in our neighborhood, which Rotary does a fantastic job in helping our local needs in the area. But Rotary has big wings and big arms, and they stretch out all over the world. And even our local clubs here in Carteret County and Morehead City, we reach out to other countries, and we've helped many, many people in countries that some of us would never visit, maybe people will never see. But we do that people to people helping. And we can cut through the red tapes that Rotary cannot, the government cannot do. Rotary can cut that red tape out and go club to club, help people to people. For example, with our polio campaign. Rotary has just about got polio wrapped up, out of this world, never to be seen again. And it's very, very close. And it will obviously happen here in the next short period of time. That's a big deal, to be able to take a disease off the planet of our world here.
I knew you were going to be wonderful, but you were fabulous. Thank you, Lee. I know how good you are.
No, I'm not.
Lee's been my assistant governor instructor in the past, and I knew that you were going to do a great job.
No.